Hey guys, this is Shannon from the Diet Doc San Francisco, and today we are going to make a different type of dinner, and it's going to be salmon which is wrapped in prosciutto, and then we're going to put it on a bed of the following. These are frozen lima beans, so we're going to do frozen lima beans, a little bit of fire roasted corn. We're going to chop up a whole yellow onion and a poblano pepper. And the seasoning that we're going to do is a little salt, a little cayenne pepper, and regular pepper. So this should only take you about maybe 20 minutes and you'll be ready, and it'll be dinner for two, and we're going to do 6-ounce salmon fillets. And here we go. Okay, so I have my 2 fillets and I'm just going to pat them down a little bit to soak up the excess oil going on here, and then I'm going to sprinkle with a little salt and pepper, just a little bit. It doesn't need to be too much because the prosciutto is going to bring quite a lot of salt to the dish. And then we're going to just put some pepper on here. I gotta tell you, oh shoot, alright, I have salt and peppered them, and now I'm going to wrap them each individually with 1 slice of prosciutto. Right, so we have wrapped these guys with prosciutto. I actually used 2 pieces now because I wanted to completely cover them on all sides. I gotta say it was a little bit of a struggle, so let me talk about that just real quick. Okay, so it's good to deskin these salmon fillets first. And in order to do that, you can slowly start to peel off the skin, but better yet, it's good to take a very, very sharp knife and slowly peel off the skin, and then glide the knife in between the skin and the salmon fillet. I can show you that at a later time when I have more hands. But for the moment, I recommend doing that, and then you can lay the prosciutto slices flat onto the dish or the plate. So laying one and then the other, and then you place the fillets there in the center and then wrap it around it nice and tightly, and then they are ready to go. Next, I'm going to show you pan selection size. So you want it to be a fairly deep frying pan because we're going to put all of the vegetables down on the bottom, and then eventually we will lay the salmon on top. But we're actually going to put the salmon in this first, take it out, then use the juices from the salmon to cook the vegetables, and then put the salmon back on top and cover it up. All right, so the oil is in the pan, and we are cooking it on medium-high heat to start, so about between 6 and 7 I'm choosing. So now when this starts to coat the entire pan and looks like it's getting a little warm, I'm going to start to put the salmon in the pan, and we're going to try to brown the prosciutto a little bit, about 1 to 2 minutes per side. Okay, so while the oil is heating up, I'm going to start to slice the onion and the poblano chili pepper. I'm going to dice these guys up in pretty small pieces. Then I am going to core the poblano, take out all of the seeds and the ribs, and then cut it into small pieces as well. All right, so we're over here at the pan station, and I'm going to place the top side down first. And again, it's going to be about 1 to 2 minutes per side. So I'm even going to time this. There we go, and we'll wait for those to brown a bit, and then I can chop some onions in the meantime. One side has been flipped, and so now we're going to let it brown for another 2 minutes on the other side. All right, so these guys are cut and ready to go, so I'm just waiting for the fish to finish, and then we're going to transfer the pan and pop these into the oil in the pan. All right, so these guys have gone in. So we're going to saute these until the onions get a little soft and the peppers get a little soft. And then we are going to add in the corn and the lima beans. This is going to be good.
I feel like this could be the start of my own vlog. I feel like maybe this is how it begins.
Yeah?
The vlog of Nathan.
What would be on the vlog of Nathan?
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump. No, I don't know. We ain't gonna live forever.
As you can see, we have a guest. Okay, side note, as this little experiment is going on, I forgot to mention that we have basil. That's right, we have basil. And I keep the basil in the window, and it's in a little bunch, and then I keep changing the water, or I try to. Sometimes I don't. Okay, so while the onions and the poblanos are cooking, we're going to measure out the lima beans and the corn, and we're going to use 2 cups of corn and half a cup of lima beans. So I'm just going to measure it right out of the thawed bag. It was frozen and now it's thawed, into a cup, and then it'll be ready for when I want to transfer it into the pan. All right, so now we're just going to add the corn and lima beans. See, I've already measured them out into a bowl. Those go right in there, and then I'm going to add basil and cayenne pepper, just a pinch of cayenne pepper around the whole thing, and then I'll keep stirring them up. All right, beautiful. So everything's inside there now. You've got corn, lima beans, basil, yellow onion, cayenne pepper, and poblano chili. And so now I'm going to transfer these lovely guys. We're going to use hands, and we're going to put it from there to there, and then we're going to cover it. we're gonna cover it. Beautiful. And we're gonna cook it for 3 minutes. As you can see, I'm not holding the camera, someone else is. All right, so what we're gonna do is we've already turned off the heat. Actually, now we've turned off the heat, and I'm gonna transfer the vegetables first. We're actually gonna weigh out the vegetables, and here we go. So I'm just gonna move the fish to the side as I make room to weigh out the veggies. Now I'm going to weigh out these veggies because the majority of it is corn, and corn is very high in sugar, which means it's a high on the glycemic index. So we don't want to just say, hey, we can have as much as we want, because our bodies don't like that. So we're going to go for 5 ounces of corn, just about like that. And again, it's mixed with lima beans. So we'll go from there, and then I will use my fingers. They're very clean, guys. And place the fish right on top. Voila! So pretty. It's dinner time, and we are done with today's little tutorial. So I wanted to give you guys some variety, because when you see people that are eating clean and eating healthy, you'll see that they do asparagus and Brussels sprouts and broccoli and all those things all the time, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a huge variety to choose from that's out there. Now, I don't love to use corn all the time, but that doesn't mean you can't use it on occasion. And if you use it when it's unprocessed, so when it's not in corn tortillas or chips or corn syrup, and you just use it as corn, it can be a very tasty and somewhat sweet addition to your dinner. So this whole dinner with a 6-ounce filet of salmon is about 360 calories. 2 things of prosciutto wrapped around. We've got corn, we've got lima beans. So the whole breakdown is 45 grams of protein, 35 grams of carbohydrates, 7 grams of sugar, 7 grams of fiber, and 7 grams of fat. So the breakdown isn't too bad at all, and I'll list it out for you guys. I hope you enjoy this one. I hope it adds a little bit more variety to what you're doing, and I'll try to keep coming back with more variety. Thanks. Cheers. Happy Saturday.